For your knees and thighs, you can come to sit on your heels. If you'd like to have a block and sit in Virasana, or if there's any other comfortable seated position that you would like to sit in this morning, just find that. And once you find that comfortable seated position, gently bring the shoulders up to the ears and draw them down the back, just opening up the heart center a little bit. Bring the palms to face down and close the eyes. And just bring attention to the natural cadence of your inhale and exhale, in and out through the nose. And once you've connected with that natural inhale and exhale, bring your attention to the third eye center, right in between the eyebrows. And if there's any tension that you're holding there, see if you can ease that space just a little bit more. And then move down to the jaw. Maybe move the jaw back and forth to gently unhinge, removing any tension from the jaw. And then move to the heart center. Imagining in this heart space, I like to imagine a crocheted blanket or connected doilies around my heart when I'm feeling any tension there. And you can use this visualization to just unhook one stitch at a time, allowing the heart to gently open up and be free of anything that was holding it in. And then move the attention to the belly and allow that belly to be its full expression of itself. And then if there's any place else in the body you feel like you're holding on, give yourself this time and space to see if you can soften in just a little bit more. And we'll start off with a few minutes of silent meditation. Bringing your attention back to that heart space as you breathe in, filling up the heart space, and then gently letting the breath back out through the nose. And I'll offer this quote from Osho to frame our meditation today. Don't move the way fear makes you move. Move the way love makes you move. Move the way joy makes you move. So if you're working with a mantra, you can bring that in. If you need one, inhale, I am, and exhale, love. And over these next few breaths, if there's any place you'd like to soften, send your breath to that spot. And on the next inhale, inhale deeply through the nose and send the breath into the heart space first. And then send it down to the belly, fill the belly up and hold it in extension for just a moment. And then gently pull the belly back to the spine, feel the breath go back out through the heart space and back out through the nose. Take one more of those deep breaths in through the heart space, in through the belly, holding in that extension. And then gently back out through the nose. Returning to the natural inhale and exhale. And then you can flutter the eyes open. And then come onto one side, bringing the legs out long and straight in front of you. Flex through those feet, really flex through the feet. And sit up nice and tall. If you need to move some flesh out of the way so that you can sit evenly on the sits bones, you can do that. And just feel that stretch through the back of the legs as you flex through the toes. Feel the spine nice and long and the crown of the head reaching toward the ceiling. If you'd like to have fingertips out beside you for a little bit more stability, go ahead and do that. And then bring the attention to the shoulders for a moment. See if you can soften them away from the ears, maybe hugging the shoulder blades together gently at your back. Feeling that stretch through the calves and the hamstrings. One more breath here to sit up nice and tall. And then draw that right foot in toward the body, right knee in toward the chest so that the foot is next to the left thigh. And then step it out a couple of inches, just so you have enough room to frame that left leg that is still flexed with your hands. And hug in that right knee in toward the right arm. So it's not splayed out to the side, but it's still nice and active. And once again, take a moment to flex through the left foot and sit up through the spine. And then you can gently begin to walk your fingertips out. Just finding a gentle forward fold over that one leg. Keep the back nice and long. So maybe you only go over a little bit like me, or maybe you can grab that foot. Wherever you are, stay strong, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, and just notice where you're feeling the stretch in the body. Moving the body with love rather than ego, so it doesn't matter how much you fold forward. And then round through the spine. You can drop the head, chin toward the chest, and slowly round up. Move the arm out of the way so that you can draw the right foot closer in toward the left thigh. Again, hugging that knee in toward the center line. And then inhale the arms up and overhead, nice tall spine. And then twist toward that right bent knee. So you can hook it with the forearm, or if you're feeling really open already, you can hook it with the elbow. Using the back hand as a kickstand. And making sure to remain nice and tall with that straight spine. One more breath here. And then bring it back to center. This time, let the legs splay out to the side. Maybe readjust any flesh that's behind you. So the right knee is out to the side, the right sole of the foot is at the left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. And once again, walk your fingertips forward, finding that forward fold here. Maybe as you open up or as the right leg position changes, you can go a little bit deeper. Just notice the sensations through the body. And then let them go. We'll take 3 more breaths here. See if you can soften in just a little bit more. And then you can round once again through the back, dropping the chin toward the chest and rising back up. Extend the right leg out long in front of you. Give the leg a little shake. And we'll move to the other side. So draw the left knee in toward the chest, being gentle here. And then moving it out a couple of inches so that you can frame your right leg this time with your hands. Draw that left knee in toward the arm. Sit up nice and tall, and then begin to walk the hands forward. Straight spine. Flexed through that right foot. One more breath here. And then drop the chin toward the chest, round through the spine to rise up. Move that hand out of the way so that you can bring the left foot in toward the right thigh. Sole of the foot is still on the ground. Sit up nice and tall, stay flexed through the right foot, draw the arms up and overhead, and then twist over toward that left bent knee, really twisting through the belly and hooking the forearm or hooking the elbow, whatever is calling to you early in the practice. And gaze can be wherever it's comfortable, out to the side or over the shoulder. Wherever you can stay soft and present. Over the next breath, unwind. Coming back to center and allowing that left foot to splay out to the side, left knee to splay out to the side as the foot draws in toward the right thigh. Readjusting if you need to. And then gently folding forward once more over that right leg. Just noticing the difference. Noticing the sensation, noticing the stretch. And softening in to maybe go just a little bit deeper. Take 3 more breaths here. And after you finish your 3 breaths, chin toward the chest as you round up. This time, bring the soles of the feet to meet, coming into Baddha Konasana. And depending how open you feel, you can have that in close to the body, or you can move your feet away from the body. And maybe try both just to see kind of where your body is looking to open this morning. Bring your hands to your ankles and sit up nice and tall. And we'll take a couple rounds of the seated cat-cow here. So as you inhale, belly and chest forward, you can gently bend your elbows if that's helpful. And then as you exhale, round through the spine, drop the head. Inhale to your seated cow. And exhale to seated cat. Take one more round. And then come back to center. Inhale the arms up and overhead. And we'll take a gentle forward fold here in this Vata Konasana. So see how long you can keep your arms off the ground, really long spine, and then eventually planting those fingertips on the ground for a little bit of support, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And we'll stay here for 10 rounds of breath, softening in, noticing the sensation. Whenever you finish your 10 rounds of breath, round through that spine, drag the fingertips and rise back up. Bring the hands to the outer thighs to gently help them back to center, knees face the ceiling. And then you can bring your feet about hips width distance apart, maybe a little bit wider, and just give yourself a couple windshield wipers here, moving from side to side. And the next time the legs come over toward the left, keep them there, sitting up nice and tall. Fingertips can still be on the ground, gaze wherever it feels comfortable. And then bring the knees back to center, rocking them over toward the right, kind of sitting in this mermaid position here with the fingertips helping you to sit up. And bring it back to center. Draw the legs in toward the body, knees still facing the ceiling. One more seated pose here. Bring the arms out to a T and just give yourself a big hug as you wrap your forearms around the shins. You can bring the forehead toward the knees, really squeezing in here. And then head comes back to center, gaze forward. Bring the hands onto the mat and find yourself in a forward fold. Bending the knees as much as necessary to contact the ground in front of you, or if you have blocks handy, you can use those. Inhale to halfway lift and exhale to forward fold. Step the feet back into a high plank pose. And then as you exhale, find yourself in downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank pose, rolling over the toes. And then exhale to downward facing dog. We'll take a few more of those. Inhale forward to plank. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. And back to downward facing dog. One more. Inhale it forward. And exhale it back. Pedaling through the feet if necessary, just to feel again that stretch through the back of the legs. And then slowly, one toe at a time, walking your feet once again into a forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, up and overhead. And exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale the arms over and up. Swan dive forward, plant the hands and step back into plank pose. Holding here for just a moment. Press yourself back into downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg back up behind you and exhale to step it through in between the hands. Finding that low lunge, the back knee is still lifted. Just a moment here. And then plant the palms, step back into downward facing dog. Staying on the right side here, inhale the right leg back up behind you and bend the knee to open the hip here. So we've already done a lot to open the hip. Just feeling it. And then re-extend that leg behind you. As you exhale, bring the right knee to the right elbow and back to three-legged dog. Then bring the right knee over to the left elbow and back to three-legged dog. And then bring the knee toward the nose or toward the forehead, really rounding in and holding. And then bring it back, three-legged dog. Let's do that one more time. Bring the right knee to the right elbow and back. Right knee to left elbow and back. And then right knee in, rounding in through the spine, holding here. And then step it through. Low runner's lunge, left knee is still lifted. So see if you can square off the hips here. Feel the stretch in the left hip flexor and maybe the right outer glute. And then begin to hover the fingertips as you press into that right foot, staying stable here, eventually rising up into your high lunge. Rebend the right knee if it needs a little bit more depth. And then fold forward. Bring the left foot forward to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, up and overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale to swan dive forward. Plant the hands and step back into plank pose. Hold here. And then press back into downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back behind you. And exhale to step it through in between the hands. Find that low lunge. Staying just a moment here. And then plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog. And from here, we'll do those knee to elbow, knee to nose. So inhale, the left leg back behind you, opening up the hip first. And then re-extend. Bring the left knee to the left elbow. Extend it back, three-legged dog. Left knee, right elbow. Extend it back. Left knee toward the nose or the forehead, round it through. And then re-extend. One more time through. Left knee to left elbow. And extend. Left knee to right elbow. And extend. And left knee to forehead or nose. Round, round, round. And then step it through. Find that low lunge. And then root down through that left foot as you begin to hover the fingertips, eventually rising up into your high lunge. See if you can square the hips forward a little bit, rebend through the left knee a little bit deeper. And then reframe the left foot, draw the right foot forward, coming into forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale as you swan dive forward, plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog.
Take 2 deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And then bend the knees deeply. Find the belly back toward the thighs and pounce toward the top of the mat. From here, inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Sweep the arms out to the side, up and overhead. And exhale, hands at heart center. Arms down by the side. Root down into the left foot. As you draw the right knee in toward the chest, you can use your hands to hug it in. While you're here, make sure that standing hip isn't scooting out to the side, but hug it in. You can have a gentle bend in your standing leg. Just holding here for a moment. And then sweep the arms up and overhead for a little bit more balance. Flex through that right foot, staying nice and strong and steady. On your next exhale, find a T-twist over toward your bent knee. And then inhale it back to center. Balance challenge here, at least for me. Then sweep it over to the side once again, T-twist. And back to center. Last time, T-twist over toward the right bent knee. See if you can twist just a little bit more. Back to center. And slowly lower that foot back to the ground. Arms can come down by the side, or you can bring hands to heart center. Staying with that right foot. So root down into the left leg and bend the right knee so that you find yourself with your right ankle over your left thigh, and then begin to bend your left leg deeply, finding a seated chair pose. Once again, balancing here, feeling the opening of the hips, seeing if you can keep those hips somewhat level as you're standing here. One more breath here, and then press into the left foot to rise. Arms can come back up and overhead. Keep that right foot raised at 90 degrees. And then lower it back down to the ground. Nice job. From here, we'll move to the other side. So this time, root down through the right foot. Draw the left knee into the chest. Flex through that foot that's in the air, making sure that the right hip is drawn in, and you can have a gentle bend in the right leg. So find that balance here. Feeling into the sensations without judgment, and then letting it go. And then draw the arms up overhead. Take a minute to root into that standing leg. Find your balance here. We'll do 3 T-twists over toward the left bent knee. So as you exhale, twist over. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to twist over. Inhale, back to center. And one more time, T-twist over toward the left. See if you can twist through the belly just a little bit more. And then bring it back to center. Woo, embrace any wobble. And then you can bring your hands to heart center as you draw the left ankle over the right thigh, bending the right knee to sit into that chair pose. Sit just a little bit deeper, keep the hips level. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. And then press into the standing foot to rise up, arms rise, left leg at 90 degrees. And then let it go. Pedal those feet out. I can definitely feel that in my calf. Nice. And then inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale to forward fold. Plant the hands as you step back into plank pose. Holding plank for 2 breaths. And then press it back into downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg back up behind you. Exhale to step it through in between the hands and tap the left knee down toward the mat, patting it if necessary. And you can keep the toes tucked or untucked, whatever is better for your body. On your next inhale, you can start to walk the hands up toward the right thigh. And then eventually bringing the arms up and overhead. And then we'll take those same T-twists to this side, but before we do that, just make sure that you feel nice and stable here. There's a lot of sensation going on. So always feel free to fold the mat or pad the back knee if necessary. On the next exhale, open the arms toward the right, finding that T-twist. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, T-twist over toward the right. Inhale back to center. And exhale, T-twist, holding here for another round of breath. And then sweeping the arms back to center. As you exhale, reframe that right foot and tuck the left toes to release the left knee. Plant the left palm, right arm floats up to the sky. Low lunge twist. Exhale to reframe the front foot. And then step it back, downward facing dog. Take one deep breath here. Inhale through the nose and exhale it through the mouth. Inhale the right leg, the left leg this time back up behind you. Exhale to step it through in between the hands. And then drop the right knee down toward the mat. Once again, toes tucked or untucked, wherever you can find that stability. Just take a moment here to find your roots. And then you can walk your hands up to your left thigh. And then eventually up and overhead. We'll take those T-twists to the side. As you exhale, T-twist over toward the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. One more time. Exhale, twist, holding here, twisting through the belly. And back to center. Reframe that left foot, tuck the right toes, release the knee up off the mat. Plant the right palm, left arm floats up to the sky. Low lunge twist. And then reframe that front foot. Step it back into downward facing dog for just a moment. And then lower the knees, toes come together, child's pose. Let's take a few rounds of breath here to reconnect with the breath and reconnect with the body. And over the next breath or so, find yourself back in downward facing dog. Press into the palms, bend the knees a little bit. And then inhale the right leg back up behind you. Bend the knee to open it up. We'll bring everything together here. Re-extend the right leg behind you. As you exhale, bring the right knee to the right elbow. Re-extend, three-legged dog. Right knee, left elbow. Re-extend. Right knee to the nose, round it in. And then re-extend. One more time. Right knee to the right elbow. Re-extend. Right knee to the left elbow. Re-extend. Right knee to the nose. Hold it here, rounding through the spine. And then step it forward in between the hands. Lower the left knee back behind you. And come into that low lunge. Exhale to reframe the front foot. Tuck the left toes, plant the left palm. Right arm floats up to the sky. Exhale to reframe. And then press into the right foot to rise up into a high lunge. Holding here, bend through that right knee. And then reframe the right foot. Step the left foot forward to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the arms out and up. This time as you exhale, just bring the hands down toward the side. So I'm not going to mirror you on this side. We're going to stay with that right foot. So root down into the left foot. The right foot rises. Remember, I'm not mirroring you. Inhale the arms up and overhead, gentle bend in that standing left leg. And exhale, T-twist over toward the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale the T-twist. One more time, inhale it back to center. Exhale, T-twist, really twist in through that core. And then bring it back to center. This time, as you lower that right leg, sit down into chair pose. Both soles of the feet on the ground. Use your glutes. And then forward fold. Plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog. Take a moment here to get set up for the next side. And then inhale the left leg back behind you. Open up the left hip. And re-extend. This time bring the left knee to the left elbow. And re-extend. Left knee to the right elbow. And re-extend. Left knee to nose and hold. And re-extend one more time. Left knee to left elbow. And back. Left knee to right elbow. And back. And left knee to nose and hold. And then step it through. Tap the right knee down to the mat. Toes tucked or untucked. Eventually the arms come up and overhead. And then reframe that left foot. Tuck the right toes, knee comes up off the mat. Right palm plants, left arm floats up to the sky. Reframe that left foot. Really root down into the left foot and rise up into high lunge. Rebend through that left knee if you need to. And then reframe the left foot. Bring the right foot forward, finding yourself in a forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, up and overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Release the palms by the side, Tadasana. Take a moment to just roll the shoulders a little bit back here, drawing the shoulder blades together. Once again, I'm not mirroring you. So root down into that right foot. Left foot comes up off the mat. Arms can come up and overhead. Find a gentle bend in your standing leg. Flexed through both feet. And we'll find 3 rounds of T-twist. Exhale the twist over toward the left. Inhale back to center. Ooh, I am much more wobbly on this side. And twist over toward the left. And back to center. One more time, T-twist over toward the left. Find your balance here. We'll be here for a couple rounds of breath. Twisting through the belly. And then back to center. Both soles of the feet on the mat sink down into chair pose. Use the glutes. Sink just a little bit deeper. And then exhale to fold forward. Plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog. Holding here for a breath. And then inhale the right leg back up behind you. Exhale to step it to the outside of the right hand. So to the pinky edge of the right hand. And then you can keep the back knee lifted or you can lower it down to the mat, whatever feels good for you today. And really root down into that left palm as the right palm comes to the inside of the right thigh as you twist over toward the right. So the right sole of the foot can stay planted on the mat, or you can come to the outer edge of the right foot. You can just try both of those and see how the different sensation feels on your body, where the strength is coming from, and then allow yourself to surrender in with love to what your body is asking for. One more breath here. And then untwist, frame that right foot, and continue to walk it over, eventually finding yourself in pigeon pose. So the right shin goes parallel to the top of your mat. If that back knee wasn't lowered already, lower it down. And then take a look behind you to make sure that the left leg is coming straight out of the hip rather than splayed out to the side. If this type of pigeon doesn't work for you, you can always do a figure 4 on your back. And take a moment to press into the fingertips and sit up nice and tall, gentle gaze forward. So draw the shoulder blades together, keep the shoulders away from the ears. And then if you would like to, you can come down to your forearms or blocks if you have them. Or you can come all the way forward, bringing your forehead down to the mat. We'll be here for about 5 rounds of breath. So allow yourself to settle in. And actually, I think we'll stay here for 5 more rounds of breath because this is feeling really good for me anyway today. So hopefully it's feeling good for you too. But if it's not, you can always come out of it. And over the next breath or so, you can come back up onto your palms, coming out of this nice and slow. Tuck the left toes, coming off the left knee really slowly, and then coming back into downward facing dog. You can pedal it out or move the right leg in any way that you need to. When you're ready, inhale the left leg back up behind you. Exhale to step it to the outside edge of the left hand. Once again, the right knee can stay lifted or it can drop down toward the mat. And then you can begin to twist toward the left side. So as you root down into that right palm, the left palm comes toward the inner thigh. Belly twists over. And then if you want to play with either keeping the sole of the foot on the ground or rocking toward the pinky edge of the left foot, just see how those feel different and how they resonate with your body. Make sure to stay lifted up out of that right shoulder. Just 3 more breaths here. And then slowly begin to unwind. Bring the left sole of the foot back to the mat. Reframe the foot first. And if that right leg is lifted, just bring the knee down to the mat as we set up for pigeon pose. And continue walking, scooting that left foot over toward the side of the mat so that the shin is somewhat parallel toward the top of the mat. And then take a look behind you, making sure that right leg is coming straight out of the hip. Once you feel like you've set up, come onto the fingertips for a moment, really getting nice and tall. And feel free to stay here, or you can come down to your forearms or down to your forehead. Wherever you are, draw the shoulders away from the ears and let your body settle in. And whatever you choose for the second side doesn't have to be the same thing that you chose for the first side. Our bodies are really asymmetrical, so just do what feels good. Guide your movement with love and joy. Use these last few rounds of breath to soften in a little bit more. And then whenever you're ready, you can rise back up onto the palms. Tuck the right toes, release the right knee, and press yourself back into downward facing dog, moving your body in any way that resonates. And then float forward into plank pose, nice and strong and straight. And then float back into downward facing dog. Heels reach toward the ground even if they don't touch. Float forward into plank. Float back into dog. One more time. Slowly floating forward. And gently floating back. From here, you can drop your knees down toward the mat, coming into a tabletop shape. So readjust as needed. Untuck the toes and just take a couple rounds of cat-cow. And then come to a neutral spine. Draw the fingertips out toward the side of the mat first. If that feels okay, you can stay there. Or if you'd like to, you can drop the hands so that the fingertips point toward the body. We did a lot of work with our wrists today. We were on our wrists a lot. So we're just going to gently open them up and release them a little bit before the end of practice. So wherever you are, you can just begin to rock maybe an inch forward and an inch back, or maybe even a smaller movement than that, just so that you can feel a little stretch in the forearms, feel a little stretch through the wrist, getting some of that blood moving through the joints. And then come to stillness. You can take some gentle circles. Again, this circle is really small. So it's maybe just an inch out to the sides. And then take that circle the other way. And then come back to center. If your fingertips are pointed toward you, walk them toward the side of the mat. So the fingertips are pointed outward. Just taking a moment here. And then everyone bring the fingertips to point forward, back in that traditional tabletop. And then walk yourself back to sit on your heels or to sit in any other comfortable seat as we do just a little bit more wrist work here. So bring the left arm out in front of you, fingertips face down, and use that right hand to gently draw the fingertips toward the body. So kind of that same movement that we just did with maybe a little less pressure of our body weight on it. And then let's flip sides so the right fingertips point down, the left hand just helps to guide the fingertips back a little bit.
Keeping the shoulders loose. And then clasp the fingers together is the word I was looking for. And then you can just kind of move the hands in any way, counterclockwise and clockwise, again, loosening up the wrists, giving them a nice little massage. And then unclasp the hands and just give the wrists a shake out. Nice. Okay. From here, find yourself on your back, knees bent toward the ceiling. Gently draw the shoulder blades underneath the body and draw the right ankle over the left thigh. We'll find a figure 4 position on this side for just a couple rounds of breath. So you can keep the foot on the ground or draw it in toward the body. And then release that left foot back to the mat. Right foot is still crossed. And just drop that figure 4 over to the left. Gaze can go over toward the right shoulder. So the right knee is pointed toward the ceiling or somewhat toward the ceiling. Arms can be wherever they're comfortable, and really allow yourself to release through the back, release through the hips. And you can stay here, or you can rock it back to center and cross thigh over thigh. So the right thigh is over the left thigh. Scoot the hips a little bit over toward the right and find a little bit deeper twist by rocking that thigh over toward the right. Once again, over toward the left, I'm sorry, and gaze toward the right. So no matter how your legs are crossed, your knees are over toward the left. I really like the thigh over thigh because it gets into that outer glute, which I feel like we often don't realize how much we use in yoga until the next day. So it's good to just keep it nice and long, feeling that stretch. And then bring it back to center, uncross the legs. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh for that figure 4. You can keep it right here, or you can bring it in toward the chest. Flex through the left foot, right foot is loose. And then let that figure 4 go as you rock the left foot over toward the right, knee toward the ceiling, gaze over toward the left, arms wherever they're comfortable. And then if you'd like that different stretch, you can bring it back to center, bring thigh over thigh. Bring the hips a little bit over toward the left, and then knees over toward the right, gaze over toward the left. Wherever you are, let yourself be here fully. And then bring it back to center. Uncross the legs, recenter the hips. And bring the heels in close enough that you can almost touch them with your fingertips. We'll just take one bridge here. Inhale, press into the feet, rise up. Arms can come up and overhead, backs of the hands find the ground behind you. Or you can keep the hands long by the side for a little bit more stability. Just holding here for a moment. And over the next breath, you can slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, bring yourself back to the mat.
Take a moment to either hug both knees into the chest, maybe giving yourself some circles here for a nice little sacrum massage, or you can find a happy baby, or if there's any other pose that's calling to you before we take a couple minute Shavasana, then feel free to go ahead and do that. And whenever you're ready, release the feet to the bottom of the mat, feet at least mat's width distance apart. Gently draw the shoulder blades under the body to really shine the heart up toward the sky. And then release the arms, taking up your space. Eventually close the eyes. Feel the ground rising up to meet you. Knowing that you are safe and supported and full of love at this very moment. On your next breath, take a full inhale through the belly and gently back out through the mouth. Rock the head from side to side. And take any movement, small or big, that's calling to you. Just make sure it's gentle. Eventually, you'll roll over onto one side, taking a moment in fetal position. And finally, we'll meet in a seated position. No rush to get there. Bring the hands to heart center whenever you come up to seated. And then fill your heart with love for yourself, for this moment,